It's Covino, Rich, now or never, and there he is, Chris Jericho.
I'm here. What's going on, guys?
What's going on?
Last time I saw you was pre-pandemic.
Right.
Seems like
Is that why you're wearing the bandana, or is that just the
No,
look?
I started wearing this. It's funny because I started wearing this about back in January or so, just because I actually last summer started wearing it. But I got Chris Jericho Le Champion ones made for the merch stand in about February. And fast forward 2 months, it's like the top selling merch in the whole company because everyone's buying them for face masks. But I just liked them because I thought they were cool. The old Eddie Van Halen 1984 type thing.
Of course.
AEW Dynamite. You bring out Mike Tyson. This thing is out of control. I mean, big ratings. Is Mike Tyson the most interesting man on planet Earth?
No, that would be me. But but yeah, it was great. It was great timing. Our boss Tony Khan had a relationship with Mike, and unbeknownst to me was bringing him in, and I was like, this is perfect because 10 years ago we really did have kind of an angle in WWE. I thought it would be kind of a perfect pickup. We thought, well, what does he want to do? And we didn't really know for sure, so we kind of floated some ideas, and he was super into doing something. So we put together that wild and woolly segment the other night. And when you do something with Mike Tyson, there's no script, there's no rehearsals. There's people that he brought to the ring that I had no idea were even there. They just say, oh, who the hell is this guy? Who is this? Who's in the ring on national TV live? But it's Mike Tyson. He's going to do what the hell he wants. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why we love him is because he's such a loose cannon and has that aura of he'll do anything at any time. So I thought that was pretty cool. I think we accomplished causing a big buzz, which is what Mike wants right now. And we'll see where it goes.
You know, you're one of the few people ever to push Mike Tyson, demand apologies, and you know, recklessly swing at him, right?
Yeah, well, once again, if you notice, about 3 seconds after that happened, the ring was filled with 30 people. And I know there was 30 because I had our producer count. I said, I want 30 people in this ring because I don't want there to be a fight. I don't want there to be one of those kind of pull apart things. I want it to just be a big mass. I hate to use the term, but I said I want a big riot. Little did I know 2 days later there'd be actual riots. But I wanted that vibe of just this air of uncertainty where you don't really know for sure what's going to happen. And, you know, knowing Mike, it's like if he decided to take a few swings, well, what are you going to do about it? So once again, it's all theater, it's show business. It caused a huge buzz because Mike now more than ever is super hot again because of the video that he posted just a few weeks ago. So the timing was perfect. He looks great. His attitude is great. And I know that he wants to do more with us. So hopefully we can make that pan out.
I love that you told him to shut up too. Shut up when I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
So bold. You know what else I
exactly.
think is really bold too? The fact that you say there's no rehearsals and you sort of wing it. I mean, obviously you have like 30 years in the ring and all this experience, but for a huge moment like that, you don't have any sort of plan. You just go with it.
No, because you don't know. Like I said, anything that you talk over with Mike kind of goes in one ear and out the other. I mean, he's a live performer, right? I mean, he's not out there to remember things. And if you watch it again, when he grabs the mic from me and he says, "You're a sucker. You deserved it. You stole the championship." I'm like, what the F are you like thinking to myself, stole the championship? What are you talking about?
Right.
It doesn't have anything to do with anything, but it's like you just mentioned though, Covina, is that I have 30 years experience in doing this. So it's my job to kind of keep the ball in the air and knowing how insane it is and knowing how crazy it is. There's another time when he gets pulled to the back and we still had about another minute of live TV time. So I sent the message down the line. It's almost like a campfire, you know, tell him to come back, tell him to come back, tell him to come back. And he did come back. And when he came back, he was crazier and angrier than ever. And that's, you know, he does get it. He's a live performer and he's great at it, but you're not going to say, okay, you do this, I do this, you stand here, I'll stand here. And I knew that. So it wasn't a problem. I had it under control.
Nice.
Major buzz for AEW. There's a couple moments that stand out. First, when he's ripping off the shirt and there's a slight struggle, I could see you as a performer were loving every second of that.
Well, once again, I told him beforehand, I said, if you want to rip your shirt off, do it. Cause he was wanting to rip his shirt off earlier in the week for another thing that we did. And he's like, no, I'll just keep it on. And as soon as you start ripping, it's like, all you got to do is you just take your scissors and you just put a little cut right there and it just makes it easy. Right. But listen, it shows, once again, there's no rules with Mike. There's no planning. B, it shows that AEW t-shirts are great quality. It's hard to rip those bad boys.
Yeah.
And see, it's funny because you see some people go like, yeah, Tyson couldn't even beat his t-shirt. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty funny. But when you're in the ring with Mike Tyson and he's ripping his t-shirt off and he doesn't care, he's just like, it's not funny at all.
Right.
It's pretty freaking
Now,
intimidating.
he wanted you to compliment him. He's like, yeah, you look good, but whatever.
I just figured, whatever. Once again, just trying to keep everything on the rails and just trying to keep the ball rolling. And knowing that we have some time that we need to space out and build some drama, but he just might decide just to go for it right away. So, like I said, the guy, he's legendary, he's iconic, he's Mike Tyson. But I also have a TV show that we're thinking about, and there's time and there's drama, and so I kind of have to be all things at that point in time, and it worked out great. I was really happy with it. I just love the element of live without a net. You know what I mean? You don't know what to expect with a guy like that. And that's what makes it so exciting.
Hey,
so you got Fozzy, and he has his crew. Cejudo's part of his crew. And there's a part of me thinking too, well, if he's on his boxing comeback, is this going to sidetrack him? I got a lot of thoughts going on. So my first question is, do you see a career in wrestling for Mike Tyson or even Henry Cejudo?
Well, that's why they were there. You know what I mean? All those guys didn't just happen to show up for the hell of it. Henry Cejudo, Rashad Evans, Vitor Belfort, and I'm not an MMA fanatic, so I just know these are some bad, mother effers, but I don't really know their story or their history. Like I said, I don't think they were there just to hang around. It would seem to me that they probably want to be involved in one way, shape, or form. And when you're talking about Mike Tyson boxing comeback, how much of a boxing comeback can he really have at 53? You got to be careful with what you do with him and the situations you put him in, because he has recaptured his magic. So I think something involving AEW in the ring will continue to expand that magic, because what his magic is just causing publicity and growing his legend. And he's never done that before. He was the ringside enforcer, and he threw a punch at me and knocked me out 10 years ago, and then he's in kind of this wild, the easy part. We can make it work. You can do a wrestling match. You can do a boxing match. You can do a street fight. You can do a no rules match. You can have all the bells and whistles involved, which makes Mike look like a star. To me, the match is the easy part. It's just the build up and getting people excited about it. That's the fun part. So we're working on it, man. Like I said, we don't know for sure what we have, but there's something there, and we'll kind of keep going at it until we figure it out.
Chris, what is the most intriguing thing about Mike Tyson TV? Is it the Weed Ranch? Is it the Hangover cameo? Is it the love of pigeons, the tigers he had? What sticks out is the Mike Tyson what?
The pigeons is always interesting to me. I really enjoyed that. I think that's pretty cool. He's still got his pigeons. I talked to him about it the other day, and he says he's going to have his pigeons to the day he dies. I think the pigeons are kind of a real outlet for him, and you get this monster killer who loves, these birds, because when he was a kid, he loved pigeons on the stoop of his house wherever he grew up, or his apartment block or whatever. And also too, Mike's a huge wrestling fan. He will talk to you for hours about mid-70s WWE, Bruno Sammartino, and all that era. This is pre-Hulk Hogan, late 70s, early 80s. Yeah. He'll go into depth with it, which is why I think he loves wrestling, and why he wants to be involved, because he has a real respect for it. But he'll talk to you about names that I don't even know, Baron Miguel Cicluna, and Swede Hansen or Swede Knox, or these type of guys. And I'm like, right, sounds good, but I don't know who they are. But
when you guys are palling around, you didn't get any scoop on what their plans are as far as the fight world, because they'll always have that wrestling avenue, right? Obviously, they're interested in this world. But is Cejudo holding out for money in UFC or MMA? Did Tyson mention if he wanted to fight anybody? Did you get any scoop?
Well, like I said, and this is not being disrespectful. I'm not an MMA guy, so I didn't know. I knew Henry Cejudo was there. Didn't really know anything about him, so I didn't really ask him I kind of knew Vitor Belfort a little bit. But Tyson, I mean, I think they want to try and just kind of weigh the offers and see what there is. But I mean, Tyson Fury versus Mike Tyson, okay, it's going to do big business, but what is that going to mean for Mike? I remember towards the end of his career, the fights that he had, they weren't good, and it kind of crushes the image of who Mike Tyson is. So it would seem to be that the smart move would be maybe some exhibitions with guys of his era, his generation, and then, some cool personal appearances where he can be physical, like with us in AEW. I think that's kind of perfect for him. So boxing wise, I didn't sit down and pick his brain, but I would just think from an entertainment standpoint and a money-making standpoint, you can't put a 53-year-old Mike Tyson in with a current boxer today.
No.
Maybe you could, but I think the idea now is to protect the myth and protect the legend and protect the aura of Mike Tyson. And there's probably a lot of ways of doing that without actually putting him into a boxing match with somebody, 20 years younger than him.
Chris, you had the line of the night. I'll get you, Mike Tyson. That was like, we kept playing that over and over. Like, that was the perfect camera angle, the perfect ending to all that. You saying, I'll get you, Mike Tyson.
Yeah, and just screaming, Tyson.
It was very similar. I'll get you, Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Wicked Rich on the West. I could have been screaming, I'll kick your ass. I just thought it was better as kind of this, this character that I'm playing. I'll get you. I'll get you.
You know what? It was great because we were able to hear it because there was no fans there. So it felt more intimate. Does that affect what you're doing in the ring?
Well, yeah, I mean, not having fans are obviously is a detriment. And anytime we do something, in the back of my head after doing this for 30 years, I'm always thinking, man, how much crazier would it be if we had fans here? But we don't. It's just the way it is. You can't change it. And we're still moving our storylines forward. And so having Mike there, like you said, you forget that there's no people there because it's so chaotic and it's so all over the place. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's pros and cons behind all the stuff that we're doing at this time frame. And, had there been no pandemic, we might not have had Mike Tyson. I mean, it might not have worked out that way. So I think it was a pretty cool moment, and it's memorable and it sticks out, and it got a whole lot of press in a lot of places that maybe don't know who AEW is. And all the headlines said was Mike Tyson, Chris Jericho, AEW, Mike Tyson, Chris Jericho, AEW. And I'm talking from Italy and Portugal and Spain and all over the world, places that maybe haven't even heard of our company, and now they do. And the people that have heard our company, it kind of puts a cool spin on us, which we've always had of being kind of the cool company, but this just kind of expands upon that.
Chris, we've known you for years, and I remember the excitement you had when you were jumping into AEW and you were starting this up. How have you felt about the progress? You can only be happy, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I mean, we've lost a little bit of viewership in the pandemic, but not much. We've kept it pretty much up where it was. It's a little bit of a drag once again to not have these arenas, which were getting bigger and more filled. I mean, we had the Prudential Center in Newark sold out at 14,000 tickets for, I think it was March 25th. But, once again, you just have to keep the momentum going. And I think we've really established that we're not pretenders, that we're not going anywhere. We keep getting a better crew seemingly every week. We're building our own stars, MJF and Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin and Jungle Boy. I mean, these guys are becoming bona fide superstars, and they're all in their early to mid 20s. That's very important. I think we've got a great roster that any GM of any sports team would want to model it after, where you have the blue chip number one draft picks that are getting a lot of playing time and producing. Then you've got your stars that are at the top of the scoring race, like, that are in their prime, Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega and Cody. And then you got kind of a couple seasoned vets that have won 3 or 4 Stanley Cups, like myself and Dustin Rhodes. That's a team that anybody would want to have, because that's how you build. That's how you continue to win. Everybody gets a chance to be a star. Everyone throws their ideas in. Everyone's kind of in control of what they are as a character and who they are as a performer. So you can't go wrong with that. It's a real exciting place to be, and I'm very, very appreciative and happy that I made this switch, almost 2 years ago.
Is it the guitar, man? Is it the music? What is that thing for you that you'll never give up and you'll always love?
Well, I mean, just entertaining, you know, once again, being in front of the crowd. And I've been playing music and been wrestling since I was, you know, almost a pre-teenager, 13 years old, 14 years old. So that'll never go away. You know, I'm a real water guy. I live on a lake. I like just staring at the water, sitting on the dock. I have a hot tub that's kind of close to the lake. Just sit in the hot tub and listen to music and watch the lake. I like that. It's very kind of calming, especially now in these days where you need to stay calm and stay focused and not lose your mind. So that's something that kind of really kind of soothes me for sure.
Chris, can you ever not entertain because you're great on the mic, in the ring, on stage? Like, are you the type of guy that party? Can you chill, or are you the guy that's like making jokes everywhere?
No, I mean, you know, I have a personality and I have charisma, but I mean, I like being in front of people. I like entertaining. I've been doing it since I was 19 years old, so that'll never stop. That's why I still am kind of really obsessed with the Rolling Stones and the fact that they've changed what an entertainer is supposed to do. Because I remember on the Steel Wheels tour in 1989, the critics were calling it the Steel Wheelchair Tour. They're too old. I mean, that was over 30 years ago, and had there been no COVID right now, the Stones would be on tour. So I like the fact that Mick is 75 and still on top of his game and still entertaining. It gives a guy like me at 49 all the inspiration in the world. Just, you're not going to be wrestling at that point in time, but there's other ways to be out there. And that's why, Fozzy, you can do that until you're in your 80s, and there's podcasts and, you know, radio shows and so many different one-man shows, so many different things you can do to kind of stay involved. And that's something that I really enjoy doing.
Let's talk about your band Fozzy real quick, man, because it's been about 3 years, and I heard that the pandemic may have set you back a little bit and that you have all these new songs you're waiting to put out there. I haven't heard one since Judas. So what's the scoop, man?
Well, I mean, the Judas record came out May of 17, and we're working on it now. But once again, you know, the last time I was in the studio, I think was March 2nd or March 8th. And then I was supposed to go back the following week, and then everything kind of shut down. So we're still working and recording, and there will be a new record. We've got all the songs. It's just a matter of doing them. And it's hard right now because it's hard to put out new material because you can't tour on it. And that's kind of how you make your name in rock and roll. So it's still all in the works. I did another band called Quarantine where we did a song and released that a few weeks ago, which was fun to get back in the studio and keep the creative juices going. But hopefully, I mean, we were supposed to go out in April and May for a tour. Then we postponed that to July, August. I think that's going to get postponed again. But whenever it's cool to go out and be on the road, we'll be out there because this is part of what we do and we love it. We are excited to bring it to people as soon as we can gather and enjoy music again.
I got one last question for you. You know, in your world of wrestling, you're always collaborating and working with other people. Like we just talked about Mike Tyson. If you can collaborate with somebody musically, who would it be?
I mean, you know, it's hard to say because I like collaborating just with the guys in my band, and we've done stuff. You know, we had High Road to Hero involved in our last record, and we've had the guys from Steel Panther, and we've had Zach Wilde has joined us on a track, M Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold. To me, it's not so much who do you want to work with. It depends what fits what you're trying to do for the song. If you want to have some kind of a guest player, you know. But if Ozzy calls and wants, actually Tony Iommi is from Black Sabbath is doing a solo record, and a couple years ago said, I want you to sing on a song on my solo record. So I'm waiting for Tony to give me the call, and I'll be happy to collaborate with Tony Iommi.
Nice.
Chris, in all your years in wrestling, dating back to the old school WWE days to the AEW days now, who's got skills in the music world? Any wrestler have a great voice or guitar skills that we would never know about?
If you watch AEW, Marco Stunt is better than Ed Sheeran. He's so good. Yeah, he's so good.
Wow.
He's so good that he joined Fozzy on the last cruise. We do a covers night, and 80s covers night. We did Sunglasses at Night by Corey Hart. And Marco joined us and just killed it. And so I said, next year on the cruise, you better learn 30 minutes of material because you're getting your own live show. So Marco Stunt's live in concert will debut on the next Jericho cruise.
So the answer is not Honky Tonk Man?
You know what? I don't even remember even if I've met him or not, but I remember he does play his guitar like this, so he probably hasn't learned too much how to play.
Probably doesn't know, yeah.
You know why you don't remember? Because he bashed you over the head with it. That's probably
yeah, exactly.
Hey, man, look out for the new Fozzy, the podcast. And we're really excited to see what develops with the Mike Tyson stuff on AEW. Thank you, Chris Jericho, for being here. We appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Always a pleasure talking to you guys, and hope we'll see you in person next time.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.